Well, the leader of France's far-right National Front says the old world order has died. And with Britain's vote to leave the EU, a new world is born.
The first blow to the old order, the trigger element that will create a domino effect in Europe, is the Brexit. A sovereign nation has decided to pass by the agreement of those in power and to decide itself about its fate. The second bang didn't take long. The election of Mr. Trump as President of the United States has caused an even bigger discomfort for the supporters of neoliberalism. I don't say every country has to leave the euro. This is a sovereign choice which has to be respected in every nation. But we have to leave the possibility if a country wants to leave.
Marine Le Pen made the remarks at a gathering of European rightist leaders in the German city of Koblenz. The meeting has been organized by lawmakers of the European Parliament. In addition to Le Pen, several radical leaders, including Dutch anti-Islam politician Geert Wilders, German anti-immigration leader Frauke Petry and Italian anti-EU Matteo Salvini attended the gathering. Le Pen, who is the FN's candidate for this year's presidential election, told the attendees that the European people will soon rise up. Wilders, who leads the Netherlands Freedom Party, has predicted that Westerners are awakening and that the patriotic spring of Europe has started. Let's cross over to Paris. Press TV's Ramin Mazaheri. Ramin, good to have you with us. Well, let's talk about that patriotic spring of Europe, which was alluded to. Tell me how you're seeing it on the ground there.
Well, you know, everyone has an opinion on the European Union, but I think that we all need to agree on the facts. And the fact is that the European Union has just not brought the prosperity it promised. It has helped to prevent war, possibly on a very, sort of bloodthirsty continent recently. But it's not accurate to say that this is only because of the EU. The Eurozone, too, has not brought the economic prosperity it promised. You judge, recessions are a natural part of capitalism, but you judge a recession by how long and how deep it is, and we're talking about a lost decade here in the Eurozone. So these are undeniable facts, and while the elite may be in favor of these things, the average Frenchman and the average European is not, because they are worse off than before these when before these things existed. We need to, stress that it's not just the far right that is opposed to the EU and the Eurozone, and the reasons are clear, because the EU has repeatedly ignored democracy. France, for example, in 2005, they rejected the EU constitution, and Sarkozy just worked around it. In places like Italy, in Portugal, and the UK, austerity policies have been rejected, and they still keep getting implemented. Here in France, we've had 6 straight years of austerity budgets.
So when you're talking, sorry, I mean to interrupt you. So like when you're talking to people in France and elsewhere in Europe, your feel is that the majority of the people, are they ready, or are they thinking about at least of actually wanting to leave the Eurozone, or how do you see it?
Well, the polls now are between 40 and 50% would vote in favor of leaving. More than 50% want a vote. But I think that what would happen is, we would just look at historical precedent. These numbers are very close to where they were for the UK. And then when the people actually got a chance to seize the historical moment and take back their sovereignty, they took it. So I think that's something that is certainly, we could say it's very likely that's what would happen here.
All right. Thank you so much for being with us. Press TV's Ramin Mazaheri out of Paris.